The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy.
You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is May Day, 2019, episode 137. And this week, aliens. They're unidentified. My name's Basil.
And this is Gonz. This is the podcast where we talk about other news with Canary Cry views.
That's
the aliens
right.
was supposed to be more of a question, Basil. It was more of a statement when you said it, but there's a question mark after aliens. So, yeah, aliens?
As happens a lot, I just read it and just run at it head first and see what happens. But yes, it's aliens. They're unidentified. And we got a lot of alien stuff today, so we're stoked for that because it was National Alien Day, and we'll get into that a little bit more after this Flippy update.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right. This week, this is coming from SingularityHub.com. Inflatable robot astronauts and how to control them. Just to give you a little bit, I'm going to give you the long story short here. There is a new fad in robots, Gonz, and that is soft bots. That's right, soft robots.
Soft
robots,
like squishy?
Yes, squishy. They're inflatable robots. It's fascinating, actually. And without going too deep, they're trying to figure out a way to get robots into space. And it's about $10,000 per pound to launch things into space. So, creating a 1-ton robot or something is just very expensive to launch it up. So they are creating a robot that is inflatable. A team of scientists from Brigham Young University, very interesting university for this to be coming from.
Utah Data Center, all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah. Has received funding from NASA to investigate an inflatable robot. What a weird thing to say. We're going to pay you to investigate an inflatable robot. And they call him King Louie, which was a very strange name. It took us a couple of seconds to figure out why they called it King Louie. The company is Nubotics, like Pneuma, Pneu. And I figured it out. It's called King Louie because, like King Louie from the Jungle Book, an orangutan, it's got incredibly long, floppy arms. Yeah. Yeah, and so basically they're trying to make these inflatable robots. They work almost entirely on inflating chambers at the joints to move the arms versus robotic motors. And this fella has some long arms, and it's usable for connecting just the arms to spacecraft. Yeah. This makes it safer to work around humans because, as we know, robots have a bloodthirst that cannot be quenched. And, robots in factories need to be there's actually cages around them because they just don't stop for humans. If a human gets close, it'll tear them to shreds. Yeah. But there you go. We got King Louie, the inflatable arm robot. Yeah, and he's going to keep our astronauts safe up there.
And if anyone has seen the movie Big Hero 6, Baymax, who's the main robot character, same idea. The inflatable, balloon robot.
Big Hero 6.
Oh, it's got all the things. All the predictive programming things.
I think it's been a while since you've talked about Big Hero 6, but when you saw that movie, it was the only movie you could talk about, and I still haven't seen it. I feel ashamed.
I'm for the robots.
That's basically the movie.
We've got a new jingle.
That's right.
Why don't you hit it and get us in the next story?
You don't know what you're looking at.
What's driving that thing? It's not a space alien.
Aliens. It's unidentified.
It's National Alien Day. Do you believe in extraterrestrial life? This is according to, I think it's SILive.com. Mm-hmm. Staten Island, New York. Happy National Alien Day. Yes, it's a real day. A nod to the sci-fi film franchise Alien, which began in 1979, April 26th, is a reference to the moon in the first Alien film, LV-426, where the movie is partially set, according to daysoftheyear.com. While there are many films depicting life beyond planet Earth and unidentified flying objects or UFOs, there are plenty of people who truly believe they exist beyond the silver screen. Your chances of seeing a UFO in New York...
I love this.
Yeah.
They actually got the casino odds for seeing aliens.
Yeah, so you can place bets. Your chances of seeing a UFO in New York are 1 in 252,400, according to casino.org. It reports there have been a total of 7,744 total UFO sightings in the state. According to the site, you're most likely to see a UFO in South Dakota, where the odds are 1 in 11,200. So that's pretty good.
That's the place to be, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you know how many years do you have to be there? Like 20 or something, and you might see one. Staten Island UFO sightings. The National UFO Reporting Center has been logging UFO sightings across the nation since 1930. The center is a privately run organization with no ties to the U.S. government. It categorizes the sightings by year and month, asks for the date, time, city, and state of the sighting, shape, duration of the sighting, and asks for a summary of your experience. According to their database, there have been 20 reported sightings on Staten Island since 2015. So this is kind of honed in that New York region there. But it gets into this other story about the U.S. Navy taking these seriously. And I guess there was a big Politico article that came out that really kind of addressed this idea. We have a Axios.com article, and we won't go through the whole thing. We'll be very brief with it. But basically, the headline is Navy reports increase in UFO sightings. Almost 2 months after President Trump formalized the creation of the Space Force, the U.S. Navy announced there has been an increase in reports of UFO sightings, reports Politico. And what was the intrigue here? There was in 2017, the New York Times reported that the Pentagon spent $22 million on the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, AATIP. The Department of Defense never acknowledged the existence of this program and shut it down in 2012, per the New York Times. And I remember when the story came out, it was a few months ago. But yeah, I mean, the Navy looking into how, or at least addressing this issue of, how people within the military report UFO sightings.
Right.
So they're changing protocol.
Taking it seriously and destigmatizing, their sailors seeing unidentified flying objects and being able to report it, which is interesting because a lot of the most interesting UFO sightings over the years have been
in the water.
Well, over the water, but in particular, military personnel. Some of the, first of all, my favorite, Admiral Byrd.
Classic.
Doing his whole thing, seeing UFOs flying to the hollow Earth.
Or the flat Earth, whichever one suits you.
It's the hollow Earth. We all know that's the truth. Still my favorite Earth shape. But, the military has a long history of observing UFOs. And for a long time, they just kind of go into classified documents and disappear. But now they are changing their regulations, or destigmatizing specifically the Navy, and cataloging these reports in a much more open way. So that's very cool. Also, Trump making the Space Force a legit thing, that's got to have something to do with it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, we do have a new space jingle, but I don't think we plan to use it in this episode. Should we save it for
play it now, baby.
All right.
Galactic clear essentially indicates...
Oh, there's tons of other solar systems.
Space. Wanna go to space?
I don't think I heard the final version of that one.
You weren't listening.
But I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's very interesting, because as we've been talking about for years, the slow declassification of alien life forms has been sort of in the works.
Well,
at least ever since we've been doing this show, and certainly longer than that.
Well, it's such a massive topic, and you know, there is that distinction between aliens and UFOs in terms of craft or some sort of flying object that people see, and like abductions as two separate phenomenon. And we've talked about the differences and how we can't just like conflate the two and things of that nature. But
yeah, surely. I mean, if we want to get into the Nephilim and the Greys and in biological robots to be inhabited,
well, we don't
like
have
that.
to anymore.
Those
because
those poor cows and all their organs, man.
Yeah, that's sad. But you know,
I'm
it's
for
not
the cows.
I'm for the cows. We need one of those. We don't have to be too I mean, the fringe has come to us, really. I mean, the stuff that's being reported out there is pretty out of control, Basil.
Yeah, we're mainstream now, bro.
Are we living in the days of Noah?
Yeah.
But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Yeah.
Okay, our favorite super legit website, news source, dailymail.co.uk. Aliens are interbreeding with humans to create a new hybrid species that will save our planet, claims Oxford lecturer. Aliens are interbreeding with humans to create a hybrid species that will save the planet from annihilation by climate change.
Climate change.
An Oxford professor has claimed. Young Hai-Chi, an instructor in Korean at Oxford's Oriental Institute, said the human-alien hybrids may already be walking among us. After first making the claim in a lecture several years ago, Dr. Chi has now written a book on the subject. His proposal to debate the subject at the Oxford Union was rejected last year. Oh, weird. The Oxford student newspaper reported. Man, we're just getting it right from the source here. In lectures titled Alien Abduction and the Environmental Crisis, he outlines his theory concerning the presence of aliens on Earth. He believes in a correlation between alien abduction and climate change.
Climate change.
Ah, I love this connection. I love this guy. I have got to get this book. We have got to get this guy on the show. We could totally get this guy on the show.
Oh, man. Yeah, that would be...
We have to look for an email for this guy. Somebody out there, get us his email.
Get us Dr. Chi.
Dr. Chi. Dr. Chi said it was, quote, not only scientists and theologians, but also non-human species who appear to be greatly concerned about the survivability of the human species.
How do you know that? How do you... That would be my first question.
Maybe he is one.
Oh.
You never know. See, he's like, I bet there's hybrid species out there and they're pretty concerned. I mean, I don't know any.
Aliens.
You like that, aliens.
I do.
You're triggering people with the Neil deGrasse Tyson voice.
Yeah, you told me to do it. Handler.
Reversing climate change now would not only save the world, but would also prove to aliens that their low estimation of humans' moral capacity was wrong, he said. He added, quote, it may be more or less assumed that the hybrid project is a response to this impending demise of human civilization. His new book, which is written in Korean, is called Alien Visitations and the End of Humanity. There are 4 types of aliens: small, tall, and bold, scaly with snake eyes, and insect-like, Dr. Chi said. The insect aliens give orders to the lower ranks and exist in a comprehensive system that humans cannot experience because our organs limit our perception. Oh, so they're interdimensional light beings that are also insects. Despite saying that he was still looking for more evidence to support his view. I'm sorry.
Hey, that line kills the whole story.
Despite saying he was still looking for more evidence to support his view, Dr. Chi suggested that the alien-human hybrids were of high intelligence and so could be the problem solvers of the future. Okay, and that's the end of the article. But I do want to point something out, Gons, and I think he's not completely off the charts here.
Okay.
Because what he's trying to do is connect climate change with alien abductions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now follow me.
Yeah.
Aliens use, as we all know, aliens have a habit of using laser beams to take out the organs of cows. This is a cataloged, and you look it up, people. This is a real thing.
It's called cow mutilation. If you
cow
really...
mutilation, look it up. They and organs are
laser-like precision removed from the body,
precision,
blood drained, all that kind of stuff.
Okay,
just telling you,
organs missing from the body. There are theories out there that these organs are being used to create, biological robots, such as the Greys, for perhaps some darker sort of spirits or something to inhabit. But I don't want to go too far down that rabbit trail. But as we heard recently, AOC connected climate change to cow farts.
Oh.
So the aliens are taking the cow organs, and cow farts are creating climate change. So maybe the aliens are just trying to take out all the organs in the cows that are making the cow farts. Yeah, I did it, everybody.
You did it. You win.
I solved it. Or they're taking all of the organs out of the cows to create one giant cow fart machine that will destroy the earth with the cow fart to end all cow farts.
Yeah, it's one or the other.
Yeah. It's either one of those. I think Dr. Chi will agree with me. I need to get in contact with this guy because we have some things to talk about.
Well,
let's give his full name again. Young Hai Chi.
Young Hai Chi, yeah.
Young Hai Chi. Okay.
Let's also point out that his description of the types of aliens that exist are not unfamiliar to especially Canary Cry Radio listeners. I think the interview with Dr. David Jacobs kind of addressed some of that stuff, and the insectoid-like and all that kind of thing.
He's kind of mentioning the small, which would be the Greys, tall and bold would be the Nordics, scaly with snake eyes would be the reptilians, and the insect-like are a less common one, but
the mantis.
Yes, the mantis.
I've seen like the hand drawings, where the giant mantis is telling people what to do.
Yes, they're very spooky. Can you hear my cat? She's going bonkers.
The cat is going nuts this episode.
She's going completely bonkers.
It's the alien episode. Of course the cat's going to go. Calm down. Here, I'm going to speak to the cat.
Stop.
That's me telling your cat.
Maybe my cat is an alien, and that's why she doesn't like us talking about it.
Aliens.
All right, Gons. Wow, we are doing great on time. I'm liking this. Okay. I really think that we can get Dr. Chi on the show. I think he's just aching for an opportunity. Yeah. I wonder if he speaks English. I guess that would be the thing.
Well, no, he does speak English. There's a video clip of him talking about his the hybrids, floating above and then thinking about coming down and
all right. Yeah. Okay. So he speaks English. All right. So good. We'll get. Is it podcast worthy English?
Yeah. Okay. He'll get by.
He'll get by. Okay. Sounds good. We'll put subtitles on it.
Okay. Subtitles on a podcast.
Yep. So there you go. Take us away, Gons.
False flag. False flag.
All right. If the aliens weren't enough, NBCnews.com reports, what if a killer asteroid were headed towards Earth? NASA plans to find out this week.
Ooh.
Yeah. Think of it as a crash course in averting asteroid crashes. As part of the 2019 Planetary Defense Conference, NASA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, and their international partners will conduct a so-called tabletop exercise designed to show how they would react to the discovery of a fictional asteroid headed our way. I find that interesting. Wouldn't it be an asteroid headed our way? If they discovered a fictional asteroid, that's not really much of a thing. Anyway,
yeah, I see what you're saying.
Weird. Anyway, I know what they mean. The exercise is being conducted as part of a federal action plan for defending Earth against asteroids that was announced last June. It will play out over the 5 days of the conference, which begins in College Park, Maryland on Monday and runs through May 3rd. You can watch it live in the player below, and there's actually a little thing, and I clicked on it, and they were in looked like the control room, working away.
Okay.
It was very exciting.
That's what they do.
Quote.
Are you sure it wasn't just stock footage from the 60s?
It could have been. It could have been just extra footage from the Apollo 13 set,
Yeah.
Quote, exercises like this have been run at several conferences over the years, and government agencies have also had them. Andrew Rivkin, a planetary astronomer at Johns Hopkins University Applied Physics Laboratory in Laurel, Maryland, and an expert on asteroids, told NBC News Mock in an email, quote, it's definitely worth doing, if only so people are aware of the issue and how complex some of them are. Excuse me, but I've watched several movies and TV shows, and I would know exactly what it would be like.
I like how this is a tabletop exercise. It's basically a bunch of scientists getting together and playing asteroids, Dungeons and Dragons. I love this.
Drawing cards and stuff. Rivkin, who said he was participating in the exercise,
has obviously never played Dungeons and Dragons.
No, I have not. Likened it to a fire drill, and this is kind of the point here, but added that the consequences of a major asteroid strike, quote, could be very bad. Just ask the dinosaurs. Referring to the impact of a 6-mile-wide asteroid that is believed to have caused the dinosaurs' demise some 65 million years ago. And by the way, just as a sub thing here, I don't know if you saw that protest that happened in some, I can't remember which country it was, but basically they were staging a die-off, and a bunch of protesters pretended like they were dying in a dinosaur exhibition to protest climate change. Mm-hmm. And I was very confused because why are they protesting climate change when it was an asteroid that allegedly killed the dinosaurs? I don't know. Anyway, confusing.
That's a very good question.
Yeah. It's very confusing. Anyway, according to the loosely scripted scenario, astronomers discovered that a make-believe space rock dubbed 2019 PDC has a 1 in 100 chance of smashing into Earth in 2027. Participants in the exercise, including the European Space Agency and the International Asteroid Warning Network, as well as NASA and FEMA, will consider how they might mount space missions to investigate and possibly deflect the asteroid. Hey, dude, we saw the movie Armageddon. Just send Ben Affleck and what's his name of it? Bruce Willis up there, yeah. And then even though 2019 PDC is fictitious, the threat posed by asteroid strikes is all too real. As of the start of 2019, more than 19,000 near-Earth objects, NEOs, have been discovered, and 30 more are discovered each week as astronomers continue to search for them. Quote, we've only found about 1/3 of NEOs large enough to cause severe regional damage, so we have a lot of work to do, Amy Mainzer, an astronomer and asteroid expert at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California, said in an email. Lots of emails. Quote, we need to build and operate more capable space and ground-based telescopes, in my opinion, she added.
She just wants more telescopes.
Yeah, she just needs more money. And then they have this GIF here that shows allegedly all the asteroids that are being discovered. And
yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I don't know how we get anywhere.
A lot of asteroids out there.
If this is the real deal, I don't know how anything gets through any of it. If we try to leave. But anyway.
Well, nothing ever has, so...
Well, there you go. So far, experts haven't identified any large objects on a collision course with Earth. Quote, we are confident that searches have found anything big enough to be a worldwide problem, Rivkin said in the email. Quote,
this whole article is based on one email.
The space agencies of the world are working together to complete the search programs to make sure the neighborhood is safe, and NASA is planning a mission called DART, or Double Asteroid Redirection Test, to practice deflecting an asteroid just in case we ever need to do so. We don't anticipate having to do so anytime in the foreseeable future, but it's good to be prepared. And Basil, we talk about false flags, and we labeled this section a false flag because anytime there's a drill going on in anywhere, it seems to be that there's a very peculiar pattern of real life events taking place nearby.
Yeah, for those who are new, if you pay attention to certain disasters, whether they be terrorist activity or shootings of domestic nature or something like that, a very strange amount of them, it can't possibly be coincidence, happen during a drill for that exact thing.
Yeah, either in the same spot or like down the street
or
like
the street or something. It's like, oh, luckily, if there's some sort of, I don't want to get too specific, but say there's like a shooting in a public place, it'll happen. And then later on, you'll hear, oh, well, luckily the SWAT team was doing a drill for just such an occasion down the street. So they were able to get there quickly. And
they'll interview them too. And they'll talk about like, yeah, we were in drill mode, but then, it was kind of intense because we went into real life. And
it's happened like, don't quote me on this, but it feels like it's happened 2 or 3 times just in the past couple of years.
Oh, I think it's almost every single time something's happening.
Yeah, I would have to run. I'd have to run the numbers
yeah.
on that, but it does happen a strange amount of times.
Yeah, and even the more recent tragedies, some of the bombings and stuff seems to have some of that stuff going on as well.
Stuff.
And I don't want to quote, don't quote us on that kind of thing right now.
So here we go, asteroid drill.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
It's coming, folks. Get in your bunkers just for the couple hours they're running this drill or whatever.
It's a whole week. It's happening right now. So
they're playing. Wow, that's a long D&D campaign.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, why is it a week? Why are we? What's taking so long?
And we're gonna have to hide. Well, they gotta wait for the real asteroid to get here. Yeah. Well, that's very fun. And you know what, Gons? Sorry, I was gonna move on, but
okay.
But we don't need to. So finish up.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I wonder if there's like, if people are virtue signaling within the thing, like I'll go into the spaceship and act all heroic about the situation. Who are the ones that are gonna step forward to risk their life?
Ragnar the Paladin will stop the asteroid. I shall go to the space.
That's probably what they're
realm.
doing. They're just finding out who's really invested in this whole operation here, that we can send up in a rocket, strapped in a rocket to save humanity. It sounds
fun, whatever it is. I want to go to the asteroid drill next year. So there we go.
So heads up.
There you go. This is actually kind of nice. We got a little bit a longer time here for the outro because I wanted to let people know. First of all, remember our patreon.com/CCNT. We record an extended report. That's a whole nother episode every single week. This week is gonna be fun. First of all, we've got a harrowing report about the Chinese social score and what they are doing to people with bad social scores. Oh my gosh, I was so excited to find this, or to have it found for me. And then also, Gons, have you ever heard of the Jasons?
Yes.
Oh, well, I hadn't heard of the Jasons.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, maybe they just like escaped my attention or something. But those who don't know, there's like a secret society of scientists called the Jasons that have been basically consulting for the Department of Defense since the Cold War. And the Department of Defense, long story short, canceled their contract. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's brand new. They canceled the contract. So we're going to be talking about that, talking about the Jasons. What's next for the Jasons? And so make sure to head over to patreon.com/CCNT to hear all about it. Also, I wanted to announce I've been kind of teasing a new podcast. It's a Bible-based podcast here. This is strictly Bible, very friendly for your non-Canary friends. It's going to be called Ravel. The RSS feed is live. Go listen to the trailer. Right now it's on Apple Podcasts and iTunes. You can go check it out. And please like the Facebook page because season 1's going to be coming out. So if you're looking for a very fun and exciting Bible-based podcast where we explore Scripture with a very smart guy, Christopher Gates, you'll hear all about it in the trailer. So search Ravel on iTunes. Anything else, Gons?
I think that's it.
Okie dokie, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Now, if you know people who are still getting all their news from all the boring old places, you need to grab them by the head and shake it.
Aliens.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
False flag.
That's
False
right,
flag.
Rattle a few cages, folks. And there you go. There you have it. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Crime News Talk. Make sure to tune in next week. But until you do, think outside the cage.